The war started with a whisper, not a roar. It wasn't between planets or fleets, but between old truths and buried lies. On Earth, peace was still an illusion. The black market had grown bold. There were rumors of off-world tech, rare AI, even living alien machines being sold as malfunctioned salvage. Jared walked through the back alley of a scrapyard market outside New Jakarta. He wasn't looking for trouble. He only wanted something to help clean his small off-grid home. Something affordable. The vendor, a wrinkled man with steel-gray eyes, motioned toward a large, tarp-covered crate. It hummed slightly. "This one's broken," the vendor said, "but still responds to basic commands." Canaan last shipment. Buyer didn't return. For her, Jared peeked under the tarp. Inside, slumped and dormant, sat a humanoid figure. She had pink hair, her skin pale like porcelain, arms made of black and silver alloy. Her maid uniform was torn at the edges. But her face was perfect. Too perfect. A line of gold shimmered faintly across her collarbone, like a design trying to hide. "She's damaged," Jared said, trying to sound cold. But something about the figure made him pause. She didn't look like junk. She looked like someone important. The vendor waved his hand. AI's corrupted. Language core scrambled. Memory wiped. "But yours for half price. You can't do better than that." Jared bought her without another word. The crate was loaded onto his truck. On the way home, he kept glancing at her through the mirror. Her eyes were shut, her lips unmoving. But once, he thought he saw a flicker in her neck seam, like something had just blinked inside. Back at his cabin, he powered her up using the fusion converter. The lights flickered, and she jerked like a puppet waking up. Her eyes opened bright violet, scanning him instantly. Jared stepped back, unsure. "System rebooted," she said slowly. "Unit, Maid class, designation unknown. Awaiting instruction." Her voice sounded off, like something hidden beneath layers. But she stood up, steady, graceful, even elegant. Jared gave her simple commands: clean the table, organize the shelves. She obeyed without question. For the next few days, she moved through his house like a ghost. Silent, swift, almost too perfect. But Jared noticed things. She never used cleaning drones, she did it all by hand. Her eyes sometimes followed the sky as if tracking ships. And one night, when thunder struck the power lines, she whispered in a voice not her own, "They're coming." Jared froze. She didn't say anything else. The next morning, she had no memory of it. He asked her directly, "What do you remember?" "From before I bought you?" She looked at him with a blank face. "I was cleaning." Jared didn't believe her. That night, while she charged in sleep mode, he scanned her with a salvager's tool. Under her back panel, buried beneath a false plate, he found it a small glowing crest, shaped like a phoenix made of stars. He recognized the symbol. It belonged to the royal family of the Trinari Empire. Panic set in. The Trinari were not just rich. They were feared. Their royal crest wasn't just decorative. It was biological ID. If she bore it, then she wasn't a maid at all. She was someone powerful, maybe even royalty. Jared looked at her again. Her face, too perfect. Her posture, too regal. It all made sense now. But why hide it? Why pretend to be broken? Unless she was escaping something, or hiding from someone. Jared knew the black market dealt in stolen things. But this was different. He hadn't bought a tool. He had taken in a fugitive. Maybe even a prisoner trying to stay alive. He reached for the crest again. As he touched it, her eyes opened. No warning, no boot-up signal. Just open wide and locked on him. Her voice came out low, clear, and filled with command. "Who gave you permission to touch my crest?" Jared backed up, heart racing. "I didn't know. I was just trying to help." Her body straightened, no longer a servant. No longer broken, her arms powered up with a low hum. She looked around the room like scanning for threats. Deactivate. Sleep mode, she said, but not to Jared. She was speaking to herself. Or maybe to something inside her. This location is compromised. Prepare for relocation. Jared stepped back again. Wait, what's happening? Who are you really? She turned to him slowly. Her expression was unreadable. But her next words chilled him to the bone. I am Princess Solari, 9th blood of Trinari Prime. You activated my seal. Now your life is tied to mine. If they find you, they'll kill you too. Jared stood frozen, trying to understand what she just said. The air in the room felt heavy now. The strange android maid wasn't just a machine. She had a name. A title. Princess Solari of Trinari Prime. And somehow, by touching the hidden crest, he had become part of her secret. Solari walked past him without speaking. Her body moved with purpose now. Every step was smooth, controlled, almost military. She moved to the kitchen and scanned every corner with her glowing eyes. Then she placed her hand on the wall, and a hidden panel clicked open. Jared had never seen that compartment before. It was not part of his home's original design. Inside was a small device that pulsed softly like a heart. Solari took it out and whispered, still active. They didn't track it yet. He stepped forward, unsure whether to be afraid or amazed. What is that? A beacon. Meant to keep me locked in their control, but I disabled the main signal weeks ago. Her voice no longer sounded soft or artificial. She spoke like a real person. Strong, calm, cold. Jared had too many questions, but didn't know which one to ask first. He sat down at the table and rubbed his face. You were pretending all this time, he said. Why? Why act like a broken maid? Solari turned, placing the device into a cloth and smashing it with her fist. Sparks flew across the floor. I had no choice, she said. After the fall of my ship, I was injured and captured by scavengers. My identity was hidden behind code. That code only unlocked when someone touched the crest with honest intention. You did that. He stared at the crushed beacon. So now what? Are they coming? She nodded. If they realize I've reactivated my systems, they will send hunters. Not to bring me back, to erase me completely. Jared felt a chill run through him. This wasn't just about royalty. This was war-level politics. He had a fugitive alien princess in his house. And now he was involved, whether he liked it or not. I should have left you in that crate, he muttered. You could have, she replied. But you didn't. You bought me, protected me, activated me. Now I am yours by ancient bond. He stood up. What does that even mean? Yours by bond? I didn't agree to anything. She looked at him sharply. The crest is not decoration. It's a living seal. It binds my status to the one who awakens me. You are now part of Trinari law. If I die, they will hunt you next to erase all trace. Jared paced the room, heart racing. So I'm stuck with you forever? Yes, she said. Unless you give me up, which you won't. He paused. She was right. He couldn't hand her over, not after what he saw. Not after the spark in her eyes when she remembered her name. She wasn't a machine, not really. She was someone fighting to survive. What do we do now? He asked. Salar. I walked toward the door and scanned the horizon. First, we move. This location is not safe. Second, I need weapons. I remember. Where the cache is hidden, you will help me reach it. Jared laughed bitterly. So I'm your soldier now? You're my bond, she said. And I am your shield. The words were strange but comforting. Something about her presence felt less robotic now. Her eyes blinked with emotion. Maybe not fully human, but not cold either. Jared packed his things quickly. Food. A solar cell. As they left the cabin, Solari stopped by the truck and placed her hand on the control panel. The engine roared to life before he even turned the key. Tech interface, she said. I can drive. No, Jared said. You sit, I drive. Solari raised an eyebrow but obeyed. They drove for hours through the desert. Red sky burned above them as wind swept dust across the glass. Jared kept stealing glances at her. She didn't speak, only stared ahead like someone waiting for war to start. As night fell, they reached the abandoned bunker in the cliffs. Solari stepped out first. Her body glowed faintly in the dark. She moved to a stone slab and pressed her palm against it. With a hiss, the ground opened, revealing a stairway below. Jared followed, holding a flashlight. Inside, the air was cold. Shelves lined the walls, filled with strange alien weapons and armor. Solari walked directly to a sealed case and opened it. Inside was a sleek staff with a pulsing white core. She held it like she had never forgotten its weight. This was mine. Before they took me, she said. Now it is mine again. Jared looked around. All this was hidden beneath my world. What else don't we know? Solari turned, staff glowing in her hand, her voice steady. They think Earth is soft. They think humans are blind. But with me, you're now part of something far bigger. And they will come soon to silence us both. Jared didn't sleep that night. The bunker was cold, filled with silence and old war dust. Solari stood near the entrance, holding her glowing staff like a sentinel. Her eyes never closed. She didn't breathe like a human. But she didn't feel like a machine anymore either. He watched her, sitting on a crate, wrapping himself in an old emergency blanket. His thoughts were running wild. Just days ago, she was a silent cleaning unit. Now she was a lost princess with weapons hidden under his planet. It made no sense, but it was real. Why did they want to erase you? Jared asked suddenly. His voice echoed in the stone chamber. Solari didn't turn. Because I refused the crown. I was supposed to marry a general, join two empires, but I chose to leave. My decision broke alliances. The court called me a traitor. Jared leaned forward. So they sent soldiers after you. No, she said. They used machines, one's worse than me, one's with no soul. They hunted me across 3 systems. I crashed here while trying to escape. He shook his head. And I found you in a scrapyard. Solari nodded. The universe is strange like that. They rested a few more hours. When the sun began to rise, Solari turned to him. We must leave before they track my signal. The weapons here will help. But we need allies. Allies? Jared said. I don't have alien friends lying around. You have me, she replied. And I can call one who owes me a favor. They loaded weapons into the truck. Jared held a pulse rifle awkwardly. This thing better not explode in my hands. Solari smiled faintly. I've adjusted the safety. You'll be fine. As they drove back toward the outlands, the sky turned stormy. Clouds rolled in fast, unnatural in speed. Jared narrowed his eyes. That's not normal weather, he said. Solari's face turned serious. It's them. A sudden bolt of light struck the road ahead, blasting a hole in the ground. The truck skidded sideways, tires screaming. Jared barely stopped them from crashing. Out of the smoke, shapes appeared. Black armored drones hovered silently, their limbs folding open like spiders. Their red lights locked onto the vehicle. Exit now, Solari ordered. They jumped out just as plasma fire shredded the truck. Jared dove behind a boulder. Solari rolled to the left, raising her staff. With a wave, she sent a shockwave of white energy through the nearest drone, slicing it clean in half. Jared fired his rifle, missing twice before hitting the drone in the shoulder. It didn't fall. It turned toward him with a sharp screech. Before it could attack, Solari was there, leaping. Between them, her staff cracking against the drone's core. You okay? She asked. Jared nodded. I think I wet my pants, but I'm alive. Then keep moving. They ran toward the nearby hills. chased by the remaining drones. Solari tapped a crystal on her wrist. A burst of sound pulsed from it, like a signal, reaching far into the sky. A moment later, a dark shadow broke through the clouds. A sleek alien shuttle descended, guns ready. It fired precision beams at the drones, wiping out the rest in seconds. The shuttle landed nearby, and the door opened. A tall figure stepped out. His body was covered in golden armor, his face hidden by a helmet. "Solari," he said, voice deep and mechanical. "Still causing storms, I see." "Rovak," she said, not smiling. "I need you." The armored warrior looked at Jared. "And the human?" "My bond," Solari replied. "Help him or leave." Rovak nodded. "Then come." "We don't have much time." They boarded the ship quickly. Inside, the walls were smooth silver, humming softly. Jared stared at the alien tech, overwhelmed. Solari sat near him, eyes on the stars outside the window. "They'll send more," Rovak said from the cockpit. "This was only a test." "I know," Solari replied. "That's why we must reach." "The council." "The council?" Jared asked. "Is that where your people are?" "No," she said. "That's where the truth is." He frowned. "What truth?" Solari turned to him, her voice calm but firm. "The war was never about me. It was about what I carry. The crest is more than status. It hides a code, a location, a forgotten vault that could shift power across the galaxy. They think I don't. No, but I do. And now so do you." Asterisk, the shuttle moved through the upper atmosphere like a knife through cloth. Jared sat beside Solari in silence, his hands gripping the seat. He wasn't used to space travel. The world below had always been enough for him. But now he was leaving it because of a crest he didn't mean to touch. Across from him, Rovak adjusted the controls. His armor clicked softly with each movement. "We're nearing the drift zone. Once we cross, no signal can track us." He sighed. Solari nodded. "Good. We'll need time to prepare before we reach the council world." Jared looked at her. "Tell me what this vault is. Why is everyone afraid of it?" Solari kept her eyes forward. "Because it holds proof. Evidence that the Trinari Empire was built on stolen knowledge. If that truth comes out, the royal bloodline loses its power. They'd rather destroy the vault than admit their past. And you're the key," Jared said quietly. "I was born with the crest embedded in my skin," she replied. "A genetic seal passed down by the Empress. Only one who carries it can open the vault." Rovak glanced over his shoulder. "And now the human is tied to it too. That changes everything." Jared scoffed. "I didn't ask for any of this. I was just looking for a cleaning unit." Solari turned to him slowly. "And yet you kept me safe. You didn't sell me back. That matters." The ship jolted as it passed into the drift. Outside, stars twisted strangely. Jared's stomach turned. The cabin lights dimmed, then glowed blue. "This space is unstable," Rovak warned. "We'll need to stay low until we reach the hidden world." Solari tapped her crest. It shimmered again. A map projection bloomed in front of them, showing a broken star system. One planet glowed gold at the center. "That's the vault's location," she said. "It's surrounded by energy storms. No standard ships can pass. But Rovak's armor is made from the same ore as the vault's gates. It will guide us through." Jared raised his eyebrows. "You mean we're going straight into a storm shielded by this guy's clothes?" Solari didn't blink. "Yes." Rovak smirked under his helmet. "You'll be surprised how many battles I've survived with just my armor." The ship entered the coordinates. Engines roared softly as they prepared for the jump. Solari sat still, eyes locked on the map. Her mind wasn't here. Jared could tell. She was thinking of the past. He broke the silence. "You said your family tried to force you into marriage. Was there no one who stood with you?" She hesitated. "My mother, for a time. But she vanished after I escaped. I don't know if she... Lives, Rovak added. The Empress was under watch. No one's heard from her in years. Solari lowered her gaze. If the vault opens, we may find more than just truth. We may find her. The jump activated. The ship stretched into light. Jared gripped the seat again. His skin tingled as time warped around them. Then, with a flash, they arrived in orbit above a storm-wrapped planet. Below them, lightning danced across the clouds. The entire surface looked like a spinning wall of fire and wind. Jared stared in awe. How are we supposed to get through? That, Rovak stood. With my armor and her crest, we'll create a tunnel through the storm, but we only get one chance. If the energy seal closes too fast, we're trapped inside forever. Solari took Jared's hand. It surprised him. Her fingers were cold, smooth, but steady. Stay close, she said. Whatever happens, don't let go. The ship descended fast. Alarms buzzed. Heat wrapped the hull like a crushing hand. But Rovak guided them with precision. A beam of light shot from Solari's crest, carving a path through the clouds. The storm parted briefly, just enough for entry. They landed hard on black stone. Everything around them was silent. No wind. No sound. Just a circle of peace in the middle of chaos. Before them stood a giant door, smooth and silver, covered in alien symbols. It pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. This is it, Solari said. Jared looked up at the door. It doesn't look dangerous. It's not the door, Rovak said. It's what's waiting behind it. Solari stepped forward. The crest on her chest began to glow. Light spread across her body, forming patterns that matched the symbols on the gate. The door responded, glowing in return. A voice spoke not from speakers, but from the air itself. It was ancient and deep. Blood of Trinari. You return with a stranger's bond. State your intent. Solari stood tall. I seek the truth buried by the Empire. I claim the right to open what my ancestors sealed. The voice paused, then replied, Truth has a price. Once seen, it cannot be undone. Will you pay it? Solari glanced back at Jared. He gave a small nod. Yes, she answered. We will pay it both. The silver door began to shift. The symbols lit up in order, one by one, pulsing softly under the rising hum of ancient energy. The ground beneath Jared's feet trembled. Wind that didn't exist before now swirled around them. The air itself seemed to judge their presence. Solari stood still as the glow from her crest extended outward like a beacon. The light passed over the door, and slowly the gate split open. No creak, no sound of gears. It simply unfolded like it had been waiting a long time for this moment. Inside, the vault was not dark. It was filled with golden light and floating crystals. The walls were smooth, like glass but alive. Images moved across them, scenes of wars, treaties, betrayals. Jared couldn't look away. This isn't just history, he said. It's alive. Solari walked slowly, her eyes locked on a tall pillar in the center. At its top was a crown, unlike any he had seen. It floated in place, glowing faintly. That is the crown of truth, she said. It's not worn. It's touched. And when it connects to my crest, the vault will reveal everything the Empire erased. Rovak stepped beside them, his tone serious. Be ready. If the crown activates, every surviving Trinari satellite will sense it. They'll come. With force, Solari placed her hand beneath the floating crown. It lowered slowly toward her. The glow of her crest pulsed in rhythm with it. Jared held his breath. The moment they connected, a surge of light shot across the chamber. The floating crystals spun faster. The walls showed new images children tested in labs, knowledge stolen from older civilizations, AI minds imprisoned in machines. The truth was far worse than anyone had guessed. The Empire rose on theft, Solari said, her voice shaking. They destroyed thousands of worlds to build Trinari Prime. My bloodline led it all. Jared watched her. You already knew this, didn't you? I suspected, she whispered. But suspicion is not the same as proof. Behind them, the vault began to shake again. But this time it wasn't opening. It was warning. Rovak moved fast, raising his staff. They're here, he said. A ship just entered the storm, and it's not one of ours. Solari turned to Jared. Take the crown's memory crystal. It holds the full record. If I fall, you must reach the council. I'm not leaving without you, Jared replied. Rovak threw him a weapon. Then stand ready, they won't talk. They'll erase everything. The vault door slammed shut behind them, sealing them in light. Seconds later, the far wall burst open as enemy drones swarmed inside. Black and silver with burning red eyes. They moved like shadows. Jared fired the alien rifle, each shot lighting up the air. He hit two, missed one, ducked. Solari moved beside him, her staff slashing through the machines. She was fast, precise, and silent. One drone targeted Jared from above. He dove, rolled, aimed high, and fired. The drone sparked and dropped hard. Rovak shouted, "More coming." "They're using war waves." "What's that?" Jared yelled. "Sound weapons," Solari answered. "They'll break our minds before our bones." She slammed her staff into the floor. A pulse spread across the vault, shaking every surface. The war waves reversed, echoing back to the drones. Half of them dropped instantly. Jared coughed, smoke burning his lungs. "We can't hold this forever," Solari's eyes flashed. "Then we don't, we move." She grabbed his hand again and dragged him toward the wall behind the crown pedestal. She pressed her crest to it, and a hidden door opened, leading to a narrow tunnel. Rovak covered their retreat. His armor glowed, taking hits meant for them. Just before the tunnel sealed, he dove through, barely making it. They ran. The tunnel twisted downward. Lights flickered above. Each step took them deeper into the planet's core. "Where are we going?" Jared panted. "To the escape spire," Solari replied. "Old tech buried here long ago. It will launch us beyond the storm's reach." Jared tightened his grip on the memory crystal. He could feel it vibrating in his hand. It wasn't just data, it was power. And every empire feared losing power. At the end of the tunnel, they reached a metal platform shaped like a spearhead. Solari jumped into the seat, powering the spire with her crest. Rovak took the second position. Jared hesitated, then stepped into the last chamber. "Hold on," Solari warned. "This will feel like death, but it isn't." The spire hummed, then roared. Fire and wind surged around them as it launched upward, tearing through layers of rock, storm, and sky. Jared screamed, not from fear, but from pressure. Then everything went white. Silence returned. The stars opened above them. The spire broke into the calm of space, floating just beyond the storm belt. Jared gasped for air. Solari looked drained. Her skin pale, her eyes dim. "We made it," he said, voice shaking. She nodded slowly. "But now the galaxy knows I'm alive. They will hunt us harder. And the war for truth has only just begun." Asterisk. The escape spire drifted above the storm world, its systems flickering as it stabilized. Jared floated near the wall, breathing slowly. His body was sore, but alive. Rovak worked on the emergency. COMM, tapping in codes from memory. Solari remained seated, her eyes half closed, hand pressed over the crest on her chest. She had burned much of her energy activating the vault and powering the spire. Her face showed no pain, but Jared could see her strain. Her voice when it came was quiet but firm. "We have the crystal. Now we deliver it to the council. No matter the cost." Jared moved closer. "Where is the council?" Rovak turned his helmet slightly. "Hidden sector, neutral ground. Only those who've been invited can land. I have the route." But now that she's active again, we'll be followed. Solari opened her eyes. Let them follow. We'll show them truth when we arrive. The emergency beacon on the console lit up. A ship was approaching fast. Rovak scanned the signal and frowned. It's not Trinari, it's human, Earth military. Jared leaned in. Earth? How did they find us? They've likely been watching the same signal waves. Your world is not as blind as you think, Solari said. The human ship hailed them. Jared answered, keeping his voice calm. This is Jared Cole, civilian. I'm with alien allies. We're not hostile. The voice that returned was sharp and official. You are in restricted orbital space. Prepare to be boarded. Do not resist. Rovak clenched a fist. This will slow us down. Solari stood with effort. Let them come. I will speak to them. Minutes later, a docking corridor extended. Armed soldiers entered the spire. Their weapons were steady. Their eyes scanned the chamber until they saw Solari. Their commander stepped forward. Identify yourself. Solari raised her hand. The crest on her chest glowed. The soldiers hesitated. I am Solari, blood of Trinari. But I am no threat. I carry a truth your world deserves to see. The commander looked unsure. Jared stepped between them. Listen to me. She isn't just royalty. She uncovered something big. It affects all of us. Let us finish what we started. The commander stepped aside to receive orders. After a pause, he returned. You will be escorted to the Terran Council satellite. Any aggression will result in immediate shutdown of your vessel. Rovak nodded. Understood. The journey continued. Under guard, they were flown in a human ship, quiet and heavy. Solari sat still, conserving energy. Jared watched the stars shift through the windows. The weight of the memory crystal in his hand reminded him what they carried. The Terran Council satellite was vast, hanging in the black like a crown. Ships moved around it in formation. Inside, they were led through clean halls filled with humans and aliens working side by side. A large chamber opened ahead, with 12 figures seated around a circular table. The council, Solari stepped forward, weak but unafraid. I bring evidence of ancient crimes, hidden by my people, paid for by thousands of lives. Today, I give that truth to you. She motioned to Jared. He stepped up and placed the crystal on the table. It activated on its own. The room dimmed. A field of light expanded, showing the stolen history of the Trinari Empire planets destroyed. Knowledge seized, children bred. For power. The council watched in silence. Some lowered their heads. Others clenched their fists. When the images faded, no one spoke for a moment. Then one of the counselors stood. You risked your life to bring this here. Why? Solari answered, with tired eyes. Because I was born into power I did not earn. And I will not carry a crown built on silence. Another counselor turned to Jared. And you? Why help her? Jared shrugged. Because when I saw her, she wasn't a princess. She was lost, afraid, alone. I didn't choose the mission. I just chose not to walk away. The council nodded. After discussion, they reached a decision. The Trinari Empire will answer for these crimes. A tribunal will be formed. This crystal's data will lead the proceedings. Solari bowed slightly. Then my duty is done. Jared caught her before. She collapsed. Her body was light, her energy almost gone. Rovak helped steady her. She needs rest, Jared said. The council allowed them quarters. In a private room, Jared sat beside her as she lay on a resting bench. You saved more than just me, she whispered. You saved what I tried to forget. He took her hand gently. You're not alone anymore. Her eyes fluttered shut. She didn't sleep like a human, but she rested. Outside, the galaxy stirred. A new storm was coming, not of wind, but of change. And in the center of it all was a mechanic from Earth and a royal who once hid behind broken circuits. together. They had started something no empire could stop,